Hi everyone, super happy to be here. I'm Mus. I run an architectural practice called Tanner Sons with offices in London and Cyprus. Besides this, I'm a tutor at the Arts University of Bournemouth in the UK on the MA course in interior design, particularly focusing on the Sustainable Futures module. And most recently, I co-founded Pit to Table, which is what I'm here to talk to you about, where we manufacture sustainable panels from agricultural waste. Olive farming has been at the heart of life in Cyprus, and I suppose the wider Mediterranean for generations. 1 second, my dog is just going mental. 2 seconds.
I'm not sure because I checked yeah, live. It's always good.
Apologies. Brilliant, I'll just continue. So as I was saying, olive farming has been at the heart of life in Cyprus and the wider Mediterranean for generations. Some of the trees on our island have stood for well over 800 years. But every harvest season, which is now from October till Jan, leaves behind thousands of tons of olive pits that go to waste. So we set out on this journey in order to turn tradition into innovation and make the construction industry more sustainable worldwide. Our research tells us that the construction industry contributes to the world carbon emissions by 40%, which is almost 5 times aviation. Every year, 9 billion trees are cut down to make wood-based products for construction, interiors, and furniture. In Cyprus, olive farming generated 15 million euros in revenue last year, but at the same time, it produced 24,000 tons of waste, which is either sent to landfill, which diminishes soil conditions, or is burned. For every kilo of pumice burned, 2 kilos of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. And you can kind of see the scale of it Europe-wise and globally as well here. So what we do, due to the European Green Deal, by 2050, we won't be able to burn the pumice anymore. And on the other hand, by 2050, globally, the construction sector will be enforced to achieve net zero. So these initiatives have increased the demand for sustainable materials. There are currently options in the market. However, these are very costly and available on long lead times. So what we do is we buy this waste from both sides of the divided Cyprus, supporting both Turkish and Greek Cypriot farmers, and create our product called the pitboard. Pitboard is a unique sheet material which can be used as desktops, shelving, cabinetry, wall paneling, quite a broad range of interior and exterior applications. Each board is made from at least 60% agricultural waste. The pits, as you can see here, give the product a warm, natural feel, almost looks like cork, but feels nothing like cork. It's a lot more sturdier. And even though for each board, we use the same proportion of pit sizes, no two pieces are the same, and they naturally show variation. The boards have been mechanically tested in a lab in Spain for tensile strength, weight, moisture absorption, and the positive results make it suitable for the wide range of uses that I mentioned earlier. We launched Pitboard in 3 colors: natural, which is basically as it comes, a darker and a lighter shade. The 3 colors that we launched or we developed were because we wanted to give a minimal range of choices for designers while keeping it in tones of nature. We tested these with the interior designers before going out to market through ongoing engagement during the product development. And having received very positive feedback, we made the decision to launch these as our first range. So earlier this year, when we launched during Clerkenwell Design Week in May, we had over 1,000 people come and visit us, which was amazing and scary at the same time. one of the feedbacks we got over and over again was about the edge detail, how they loved it so much, and where you basically cut through and expose the pits. And in a way, I guess this allows you to relate the material to its source. You basically see the raw ingredients. And besides this, overwhelmingly, we received great feedback on the storytelling aspect. Christina was also mentioning earlier. It seems like it's quite an important thing out there right now. And for us, it's mainly around supporting farmers, not cutting down trees, and creating a wasteless future. And it goes to show you how much designers and I guess end users really care about the origin of their products as well. In terms of our impact, we align with 7 of United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. On one end of the spectrum, we help achieve net zero targets that are set by the governments. And in the other, we have and continue to open up new job opportunities, support farmers. And I guess in a way, it's nice to be recognized for your work. Since launching earlier this year, we have been published on international magazines, been shortlisted for design awards. And over our 2-year journey, we've received funding from UNDP, EU, and EIT, which is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. And they had a collaboration with NEB on a growth program, which nicely follows on to this. So we won this last year through a hackathon and got enrolled in this Accelerator Growth program. For the 8-month program, we needed to follow the new European Bauhaus campus, the values of beautiful, sustainable, and together, as well as the 3 working principles. As you can see here I'm sure many of you have seen this 1,000 times. From a values perspective, Pitboard, as we see it, really sits at the heart of the NEB values. From a sustainability perspective, it transforms agricultural waste into circular building material, cutting carbon, reducing landfill. In terms of aesthetics, it has a beautiful natural texture, if I say so myself, and hopefully you get to touch it over there as well. And if you're in Cyprus, let me know. I can bring material to a shared location or something, so you can have a little feel for it. So it doesn't only perform well, but it looks good and essentially brings nature into any environment it's used in. And lastly, for the social impact, I'll emphasize again that we really do help these farmers by buying their waste in terms of generating a new revenue, but also removing that waste so that they can streamline their olive oil making process as well. So it's not just about materials, it's about bringing communities together through collaboration and, I suppose, business. So we followed the working principles of the campus vigorously. We had to in order to get the funding. We engaged at a local and at an international level, given our target market, which is the UK and Europe, from olive farmers to carpenters, designers, furniture manufacturers, innovation labs across Cyprus, London, New York. We've really been to places with it to make sure that the key stakeholders had been engaged. And over the 8 months, we made sure all of our engagement was recorded and shared with NEB through regular catch-ups. And also we also had to detail how the grant money was spent according to the set out requirements. So that's Pitboard. For the last part of my talk, I want to briefly touch on the gap between theory and practice, as I also am a tutor. To me, academic sustainability is often conceptual and focuses on frameworks like circular economy, LCA, life cycle assessment, systems thinking, but not necessarily translating it into how to make or build things sustainably. Are you guys getting echo as well? Sorry. In practice, designers face material, cost, supply constraints during various stages of a project that aren't discussed in classrooms. So sustainability in education can feel idealistic, while in the real world, it's full of compromise, testing, and incremental change, and a lot of lessons learned. Just gonna check that you guys are all there still. Yeah, perfect. So in his book titled Humanize, Thomas Heatherwick gives a valuable example to this. When his studio was commissioned to design a Singapore university building, they were faced with financial constraints and I guess material sourcing constraints. They were desperate to make the paving around the building more interesting, but they could only afford, as he explains, extremely cheap and boring tiles. So one day, a member of his team walked for many hours from one local building merchant to another, asking if they had any stone alternatives, which were same price as those tiles that had been given. Eventually, they found someone who could supply a leftover job, a lot of quartz stones that, in quote unquote, had a silvery quality that's almost like fish skin. And this is the stuff that you can't source online, you can't learn, you have to be curious and look around you. For Google's head office in Dublin, which was a complete refurbishment, we continued to design throughout the construction stage. Basically, the design never stopped almost. So when we were demolishing, or when the builders were demolishing the existing space, we made sure that we retained a lot of the building's elements. So the existing metal raised floor tiles under the carpet and the old ceiling tiles were given a new lease of life through wall cladding. Cables, as you can see on the left here, became new floor signs on the ground floor. On other floors, it was old power sockets, screws, mirrors. And as we had to change the previous lift system, the elevator system in the building, we kept the actual lifts and reused them as phone booths. So to me, real sustainability isn't just learned, it's practiced, negotiated, and shared. And if we were all a bit more curious and have more of a maker mentality, we can all be agents of change. In Cyprus, in my garden, I saw waste as an opportunity, and that's how Pitboard was born. Thank you very much. That's all from me. If you've got any questions or want to know more or want to touch Pitboard, get in touch.